Hey guys, welcome back. Today is a beautiful day here in the cut flower garden, and we are going to be talking about our top 10 dahlias for 2025. Every year, I like to observe our dahlias. I take notes. I keep notes like in a little journal. I observe them throughout the season. I see how they do, and then I come back and I give you my top 10 for the year. Now, I wouldn't say these are my favorite in terms of like my holy grail of dahlias, just because that list is forever evolving. You guys probably already know a lot of my favorites. K. Cinder Rose, obviously the queen, Cafe Ole. Gosh, there's so many others. Chewy, Venus. Gosh, we did so many that I'm thinking about over the years that I just absolutely love. A lot of them are just staples in our cut flower garden, and I've talked about them last year, so I'll make sure to link down the list in the video for last year's top picks. But this year, I just really wanted to focus on the ones that are going to be easier to source, because I know some of them are not as easy to source, and also that are very productive and versatile in terms of making arrangements. So I have them all cut. We're gonna go down the list of each one of them. Hopefully I'm gonna stick to 10. I only cut 10 favorites, but I'm also like, but let me also show you this one over here while we're here. Anyways, let's just jump into it. No, but really, while we're here, I just want to show you a couple. You guys know Chewy. We love her. Such a beautiful, classic, easy to source, such a good producer of dahlias and tubers. So I highly recommend this one if you don't already have her. This was a very unusual one for me this year. This was Octopus Star, I think. It's very unique. I don't know if I love it or I hate it. I think it's very interesting. It's actually kind of fun to cut and arrange with, but I think this is one that would look really good in the landscape just because it's very, very different. Even if you have like a more of a Japanese style garden, I think this would fit into that really well. Here's a new one that's blooming. I haven't seen this one yet, and I actually don't know what this one is, so we'll skip over her. There is a water lily I want to show you back here. I didn't put her on the list just because I didn't reach for her, but I know there's obviously still a big water lily craze. This is Sandia Bertha, and she's a very beautiful dark color. I would say this is like a really dark raspberry. It's very beautiful. It has a white center. I really, really like it. I just haven't been reaching for it as often. I wouldn't say it's the most prolific boomer, but it's certainly a really beautiful, beautiful color. And I think you can really do a lot with it. So I wanted to just show you this for all of the water lily fans. And there's actually one more over here that I want to show you. This one was a little bit hard to source, so I didn't put her on the list for that reason. But again, if you are a water lily person, then you'll probably really enjoy this one. This is Holly Hill Daydream. It doesn't look its best just because we're at the end of the season, but it's a really nice, almost a deep, rich orange with some yellowing on it. It's been a pretty good producer. I'm actually pretty impressed with this one. So those are two water lilies that I've been really enjoying, and I think we have Fawn, but I don't know if she's blooming over here. Fawn is also one that everybody is going crazy over, but I don't think we have her blooming. Oh, here we go. Ours is very, very light. Look at that. Very, very light compared to some of the other ones I've seen. See? But it's just still beautiful. She's still very gorgeous. And of course, we have Venus. I keep cutting it down, but they keep blooming just because I didn't want the bees to cross-pollinate. But my gosh, isn't she spectacular? What a gorgeous dahlia. Oh, all right, let's jump into our top 10. All right, starting out strong, we have Westerton Pearl. This is my first year growing her, and I'm absolutely obsessed with this dahlia. Like, she is so beautiful. What a beautiful transition. This is a ball variety. The plant gets about 4.5, 5 feet tall. The blooms are about 4 inches across. I feel like all of the dahlias I'm about to show you, their blooms are a little bit smaller just because it is the end of the season. So they tend to be on the smaller side, at least for us. But it's a deep, rich pink color, and it just blooms all season long. It was one of the first ones to bloom for us, and it's just such a showstopper. Like, it's just full of blooms. So Westerton Pearl, highly recommend. Again, it's a ball variety. If you're a ball fan, I am. That's probably my favorite form of dahlias. And I just think everybody should grow this one. All right, next up is Bloom Quest Sue. You guys, you need this dahlia in your life. She is so spectacular. This is a lacinated form. The plant gets about 5 feet tall and the blooms, again, about 4 inches across. These are on the smaller side, but oh my gosh, she is so magical. This is a really beautiful, warm, rich orange that goes well with a lot of different colors. So if you are creating an arrangement that has more of orange hues, this is going to go well. Ones that have a little bit more of a yellow hue, this is going to go well. Even some warmer pink tones, this plays so well with those colors. So this is a very versatile one. Again, lacinated. I think they're very unique. Their petals just have those little edges that just make them really stand out. So highly recommend this one. All right, next up is Bloom Quest Mojo. And I'll tell you what, everybody and their mother were excited about this dahlia this year. And I think even last year, I don't know if it was released last year or this year. I think it was last year. But anyways, I didn't have it last year. And I am so happy I got it. I think I actually ordered, gosh, it was like 6 of them because I just wanted to grow them out. And if we do end up selling dahlias this year, this is definitely one that I would love to offer. This is a formal decorative dahlia. The plant gets about 5 feet tall and the blooms, again, 4 inches across. Just look at that color transition. It really just glows. I don't know if that glow is going to come through on the camera, but there's just something so special about this dahlia here. I think one of the standout features of this dahlia, it has that really beautiful dark pink, almost purple coloring to it, and then those yellow little tips. You see that? I think those are so fun on a dahlia. In fact, there's a couple of other ones. I think Cinder Rose also does this at times where it has some of that yellow tips. And I just think that makes it, just give it a glow. So this one is definitely top 10. Like, I think this is probably top 10 of all-time favorites for me because she is just so spectacular. Next, we have Hepat Champagne, which, oh my gosh, she stole my heart. I really, really love this dahlia. I think I really noticed this dahlia when I went to my friend Anne's farm at the Dahlia House. She grabbed one of these in her hand, and the one that she had in her hand was just like a big fluff ball. It reminds me of a ballerina. I think that, I don't know if Anne had said that, but for me, like, that's what it reminds me of. And she's just so romantic and girly and fun, and I'm really interested in this form right now. So I don't know, anytime I see ones like this Hepat Champagne, I'm immediately drawn to it. So anyways, I am just swooning over this dahlia. This one is also a lacinated form. The plant gets about 4 feet tall, and then the blooms can actually get about 8 inches across. Now, I think the biggest one I measure was probably about 6 inches. In fact, let me see if we have a bigger one. It's hard to get them right now because at the end of the season, they're all pretty blown out. Here we go. This is, well, no, that's still pretty small. I would say this is probably about 5 inches across, and the bees are just loving them. But they get massive, and then earlier on in the season, they're just like a big fluff ball. You might have noticed it in some of our tours that we've done of our cut flower garden. See, this one's pretty spent. I know this bee is trying to get in here. But anyways, you can see that it does have the potential to get really big. Even when the buds come in, they're pretty large, and it's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous dahlia. Very similar to Peach Fuzz, which I also have. You might have that one as well. I just like this form or this size a little bit better. In terms of the color, I would say definitely leans on a lighter peachy pink earlier on in the season. And as it's been cooler, it's definitely been pulling in a little bit more yellow. You can see like on this one. This one's a little bit newer than this one right here. So it does start out more of a richer color, and then it fades into more of this type of color. So I think this is what makes it very versatile in terms of arranging it with other colors. So love this one. All right, next up we have Nadia Ruth. Let me just pull her out. She is also elastinated and so beautiful. Again, so girly. It just, I don't know why, it just reminds me of a ballerina. I feel like this is the type of flower that I would love to have on a headband. You know what I mean? Just like a big flower right on your head. I think this would be so fun. The blooms are about 6 to 8 inches across, similar to the hepat, and the plant gets about 4 to 5 feet tall. Our plants have been pretty productive. Again, it's just been blooming and blooming and blooming. The blooms are a little bit smaller right now. The color has been pretty consistent all season long. Color is a mix of pink and buttercream, and it's just so beautiful. You can see that you do get some variation in the coloring. This one's pulling a little bit more purple and white, where mostly they were looking more like this all season long for us. This is another great lacinated variety to add to your collection. This one wasn't very hard to source either, so add her to the list. All right, next up we have RM Summer Haze. This one was introduced by a farmer up in Washington, Haley Sly, and her husband. And oh my gosh, she is beautiful. I absolutely adore this dahlia. It's definitely a mix of orange, yellow, and lavender, and it almost has a smoky hue to it if you catch it just at the right time. These blooms are smaller, but they can get about 3 to 4 inches across, and the plant is about 4 feet tall. I don't know the classification of this one. I think it's a decorative. I think it's a formal decorative if I'm not mistaken, but she is beautiful. Now again, they start out kind of small, and as they open up, you can see it has a huge petal count, just so many petals. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. She is so beautiful. Wasn't super hard to source. I imagine because she was introduced in 2024, I think a lot of people got her last year. I think she's gonna be a pretty big deal again this coming up here. So just keep an eye out for this one, because I think more farmers are going to offer her. But she's definitely one to get and to add to your collection. Next up on our list is 20th Avenue Old Major. Now this one is more on the cooler side, which I hope you guys are proud, because I always pick warmer tones and you're always asking for a cooler tone dahlia. Here is a great variety, one of my favorites. I absolutely love this one. This is a ball variety. It's about 4 inches across in terms of the bloom. The plant height is about 4 to 5 feet tall. I would say ours got to about 5 feet tall. Incredible, incredible producer. You can see it's packed with so many petals. The stem length on this one is also very good, so it's easy to cut. The great thing about this dahlia is it never shows that green eye. So do you know sometimes you'll see a ball variety and it shows a little bit of a green center? Now I don't mind ones that have a little peekaboo of a green center. I know it can bother some people, but for me, I don't mind it at all. But this one, it's been consistently tight like this all season long. It's a beautiful, beautiful dahlia. In fact, let's just come over here. Let me sneak you to see the plant. You can see it's a really big plant. But look at this, even when it ages, look at how beautiful she is. So here it is in the beginning. She's just opening up, very tight center. And then she'll open up a little bit more like this. And then she'll get older and look like this. Now, obviously you wouldn't pick a dahlia at this stage, but I still admire how this looks. It's so beautiful. And I've heard she produces a lot of really great tubers, so I'm very excited about that. Real quick on the coloring, it definitely has a purple lavender hue to it. This one plays really well with whites, darker colors. You can even transition it in a bouquet to play with some warmer colors. It just depends on what your other flowers are and what your supporting flowers are. But she's very beautiful, even on her own, just like in a little bud vase like this. She's spectacular. All right, next we have Jabberbox, and you probably wouldn't expect me to love this one because I do think it pulls in more yellow than a lot of the ones I tend to go for when they have that color transition, but I absolutely love this one specifically for how many blooms it produces. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but a couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago, I made a post. It was one of the happiest moments, I think, for me in terms of growing cut flowers, because I made a post at work. You guys know I have a corporate job outside of YouTube. Anyways, I made a post saying how I offered bouquets at work, and within like 1 or 2 minutes of me posting it, I had over 15 orders, and I was like, oh my gosh, people want to buy my flowers. And it was emotional. I was crying. I was happy. I was excited. And I quickly came out that day and I started to harvest flowers to make those arrangements. And they were so beautiful. I loved seeing people receive their bouquets. It was just so, so special. But anyways, Jabberbox was the one dahlia that I thought, okay, if nothing else is blooming, there was still a lot blooming, but Jabberbox was just pumping out blooms. And I was like, yes, like what a reliable dahlia. And I only have one of her, and I've harvested, I don't even know how many blooms off of this one. So if you're looking for something that's super reliable, that can really carry you over when your other dahlias are still trying to bloom after you've cut them, try Jabberbox. I promise you won't be disappointed. And I think I only paid $10 for the tuber. So she's a formal decorative dahlia. She gets about 4 feet tall, and the blooms that get about 4 inches across. I would say it stayed on the smaller side. I would say maybe about 3 inches across. Some of them did get a little bit bigger, but definitely a nice tight form. This is probably the stage that I would pick it right here. You can see it's starting to open, but it hasn't really opened all of the way. It has more of a raspberry pink with those yellow undertones in it. So again, very versatile, especially with warmer colored flowers. She's great. I mean, there's not one bad thing I can say about her. Also, the stems are really nice and sturdy, and they're very, very long. So you're able to cut stems from this one really nicely. We keep going back into the cut flower garden. I just want to show you how the stems look. They looks bad because I'm just letting them go right now because we're in the middle of labeling them. But do you see how the stems are nice and long? Look at that. They're skinny, but they're sturdy, and you can really cut deep with these ones. So definitely, definitely love this one. By the way, I didn't put rhubarb and custard on the list because she's very hard to source, but if you can get her, oh my gosh, do it. She's so spectacular. Alrighty, number 9 is Mrs. Miley. This is one dahlia that I wasn't sure I was going to really love. I actually sourced her at the Northwest Flower Garden Show from Bad Birdie Blooms, and she is magnificent. I don't know if she's a new introduction, but she is so beautiful. It has a deep rust red and berry tone to it. Especially in the center, you can see that the petals are a lot darker once it starts. This is such a great dahlia for fall time. Like if you have a fall bride that wants color in her flowers, this one right here is magnificent. I absolutely love her. Really great producer. The plant can get 3 to 4 feet tall. I think ours stayed around 4 feet tall. And then the blooms are about 5 inches across, but very consistent, very reliable. I'm very happy with this one. I think she's going to be pretty popular, especially if you're somebody that likes that color transition on the back of the petals. Just look at how beautiful those tones are. She's gorgeous. All right, last but not least is Orange Globe. You guys, this dahlia is magnificent. This is the 2nd year I've grown her. She stopped me in my tracks last year. I think she bloomed a little bit later for us last year. That's why I didn't include her. But she is worth every single hype that you've ever heard about her because she is just so magnificent. It's a formal decorative dahlia. The plants get about, I would say about 3 to 4 feet tall. Ours are on the shorter side. I would say about 3.5 feet tall. And then the blooms get 4 to 6 inches across. As they age, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. She is just glorious. She has different shades of orange with pink undertones that kind of peek through, especially like in the light. But she is just so, so beautiful. Nice, sturdy stems. And just look at that form. It's just so, so beautiful. I like it because it has that burnt coloring to it, like almost like a burnt or smoky orange, which just goes with everything. Like honestly, I've designed her with yellow, pink, white, burgundy. She's just played really well with everybody. So she is definitely top 10 of all time, I think, for me. Orange Globe is definitely worth the hype. You guys know I like to grow out our dahlias out in the landscape. It's just one of my favorite things to incorporate into our design. So not only do we have dahlias in our cut flower garden, but you've probably noticed them throughout our garden during garden tours. So for these, a lot of these I would grow as production, but I would say that Mrs. Miley, Orange Globe, let's see, 20th Avenue, Old Major, and Hapat Champagne would all make good contenders for the landscape. Anytime I'm thinking about a dahlia to put out into the landscape, I like to get ones that are going to be very productive, ones that are not going to get too tall. And if they are going to get tall, then I recommend staking them. You could either use like a bamboo stake. You can use really anything that you normally would use to stake up your plants. So I think ones like the 20th Avenue Old Major, that one would probably require staking because the stalk gets nice and thick. Mrs. Miley stays kind of on the compact side. It produces a lot of blooms, but it's a pretty sturdy and upright plant. Same with the Orange Globe. Beautiful big blooms, and it's pretty sturdy on its own as well. With that one, I would almost even plant like a grouping of 3 of them. I think that would look really beautiful. But really, when you're planting dahlias in the landscape, you can really just tuck them throughout. So see kind of what we've done here. There's one over there. I think that might be iced tea. I can't remember. I lost the tag for it. Prolific. That's one that's not staked. And I would say that's about 4.5 feet tall. So there's that one over there. Some over here. We have this one back here. That one I had to stake up. So really, I like to tuck in dahlias throughout the landscape. So don't think you just have to grow them in a production setting. You can certainly grow them out in your landscape. Oh gosh, there's just one more I have to show you because she's so beautiful. This is Salmon Runner, and if you can get her, get to, okay? Because she is so spectacular. Nice dark stems, very sturdy. I think I didn't add her to the list just because it was harder for me to source, but maybe that's just because I was kind of late to the game and she's easier to source. I haven't done any research yet to see who's offering her. I got mine from my friend Marin at the Farmhouse Flower Farm. She is gorgeous. She's a formal decorative dahlia. The blooms are about 5 inches across and the plant's about 4 feet tall, although I would say ours is about 4.5, 5 feet tall. I just love that deep coral pink color that it has. Again, really good bloomer. She grows really nicely like this, in my opinion. But if you did put her in the landscape, you would just want to make sure to stake her up. But she actually she could be a good contender for the landscape. But anyways, so we'll make her number 11. So we'll say 10 plus 1 this year because we just can't keep it to 10 because that would be, that'd be irresponsible. I could probably talk about dahlias all day. You guys know how giddy I get with them. I love them so much. They make me so happy. They're like one of the best parts of my day is coming out here, seeing them in the morning, sometimes during lunchtime or after work. It's just where I love to spend my time is with my dahlias. I feel like I never get enough time with them because the whole garden demands your attention. But I think I'm gonna just have to take a day off sometime this week and just spend all day labeling them and just photographing them and playing with them before the season ends. I'm definitely excited for next year's dahlias too. I've already started to put in a wish list of all of the new varieties I've seen at my friends' farms. You guys know we did a video recently with Microflower Farm, and when I was there I was like, Galena, I need this. And so I'm definitely excited to add more new varieties into our collection. I will keep you guys posted on how our sale goes because I know a lot of you have been asking if we're gonna have a sale this year. I'm trying really hard to make that happen. So if I can get my ducks in a row, right now my ducks are not even in the same pond, okay, but if I can get them in a row, we will have a sale later in the springtime. So just keep an eye out for that. I'll make sure to talk about it when we get closer to it. And also, if you guys follow me on Instagram, that's really where I post upcoming sales. So I try to be really diligent about any of the farms that I really love and admire and I trust and I order from. Whenever they're having a sale, I will post it on my stories. So if you follow us there on Instagram, make sure you're watching the stories because I will post say, oh gosh, I don't know, so-and-so is having a sale this day. And some of these dahlias go really quick, so you kind of have to be on it. So I try to be really diligent about posting those sale dates for you guys. If you're interested and want to follow along where I buy my dahlias from, who those farmers are, I've talked about them before several times. But if you have any questions, let me know down below. And I think that will wrap it up for this year's 2025 Top 10 Dahlias. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let us know down below what some of your picks are, because it's always fun to share and also know what you guys are into this year, what's coming up next year, and maybe there's one that you guys have that you're growing that you love that I don't have yet. So I would also love to know that. And I'm also excited to share more of the ones that we're breeding this year. We have a few varieties that I'm very excited about that we're gonna grow out next year to see how they do. So anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today in my cut flower garden, looking at dahlias together, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye-bye.